Well, listen, somebody said, like, I think I have to tell. Everybody working like, what's the I'm like, $60. It's like, well, sure. I didn't get no pressure. It's like, no. No, but like, but I still probably
Where?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, last time I was, it's actually the same thing. Like told me, and whatever you hear about you, all the time, next time you're home, what you gotta start catching up. You don't have a lot of time. Time's valuable, precious.
I talked to a couple
It's exactly well, no, it's exactly what you're getting at.
Well, if you were supposed to, now what if you don't?
When did it start? I mean, it was a year, like probably hours ago. Yeah.
Claire would always keep me updated pictures of people. And there was one of them that would cry. Because he hated pictures so much, he would try and swap it out all the time. And I know it's one of these ones.
It'll be on for 3 months or something. So, Oh, it is. You can watch a live stream.
I'd like to welcome each of you, whether you're in this room or in the hallway or streaming from home.
Should we get that alarm? Can someone figure out who that is?
Anyone have an alarm going off in their car?
It's a black truck over there.
It's a black truck, is that what I heard?
Yeah.
It's a black truck that's going off. We'll give a moment to...
James? Huh? Are you James Prescott?
No, that's my dad.
Oh.
Wherever he is.
Thank you. So welcome to everyone, wherever you're streaming from or if you're in the other room. But it's really important that we're all here together, gathering as community of family and friends, so that we can share our grief together and also celebrate the life of Wylli Silva. Willy's family, his father Al, his mom Claire, his brothers Milton and Yama, also his grandma Henny, and so many countless other family members and friends have a true need to gather, to celebrate, and also to grieve. The pain and sorrow of Will's death reaches deep, deep into our hearts. And so gathering and showing support for each other is of great significance for us. We'll open this afternoon with a poem written by Claire Silva, Will's mom. It's called The Loss of a Child. It's the worst news to receive as we awaken. For days, it's a dream, and we hope they are mistaken. It's difficult to cry because it cannot be true. We hold on to hope, to see a glimpse of you. It is easier and safer to live in practical denial. Let us hold on to unrealistic hope for just a little while. But the days pass by, and you do not appear. The depth of truth hits hard and becomes more clear. Our souls and bodies continue to tremble and shake. Our chest walls hurt with the pain and heartache. The sight of your body forces us to see and realize no amount of denial will ever open your beautiful eyes. In a world of darkness, you were the light. Everything is now a struggle, but we still have to fight. We listen and tell tales of your life with family and friends. That is the way you live on, and your story never ends. Let's pray. Dear God, Spirit, source of all that is, please take Will into your care. Help us to find healing and hope today. Help us to remember Will as a loving being who was our gift on this planet for a short while. Thank you for Will and his life. Remind us all that life is a gift and grace us with a new sense of purpose and peace. Amen. I didn't have the privilege of knowing Will, but I have had the honor of hearing a lot about him from Claire and Al and Yamuk. They have shared a lot of his life to paint a picture and to give an understanding of the kind of person that he was and the kind of spirit that still resides even in his absence. Willy. Will. A life that was taken way too early. He was a young man with big dreams and aspirations that he was off to seek and make manifest. He was courageous and creative, loving and kind. He loved to swim in the ocean. He went nearly every day, even as the weather was turning cool. He loved to cook and bake and eat and share food with others. He lived life a little bit on the edge, and he was always himself. He wisely invested the time and energy that he had in the things that mattered most to him. He had a way with words. He loved to write, to rap, to express himself linguistically, to bring ideas and feelings to life through the pen and through his gift of speech. He had a beautiful smile and a big heart. His father told me that if someone did Will wrong, Will would choose to give love back. He took his time doing everything, whether from eating a meal and savoring each bite, or to taking his time as he was walking, not hurrying through a step. He wasn't in a hurry. To quote him, he knew that life is not a race. Many of his friends have come to Claire and Al and shared stories of what an impact he had on their lives. He cared about people and relationships, and he helped so many during their lowest points without even knowing it. He was a loyal friend. He didn't judge others or give up on people. And his spirit was one that was calm and supportive and always there for others. He sent a lot of kindness out into the world. And while he is no longer here with us in physical form, the ripple effect of his life, we know, will continue on for eternity. At this time, Prism of Praise Ensemble is going to share a song with us, Lean on Me.
Somebody to lean on. Please
just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'd understand. Yeah, we all need somebody to lean on.
Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on.
You just call on me, sister, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. And I just might have a problem that you'd understand. Yeah, we all need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, I'm right up the road and I'll share your load if you just call me, call me, call me, call me, call me. Whatever comes, just keep your arms around me.
Keep me in your care. Let me know.
Let me know you're there. Keep your loving arms around me.
Whatever comes,
Whatever comes,
just
just keep your arms around me.
keep me in your
Keep me in your care.
Lord, let me know.
Let me know you're there. Keep your loving arms. Keep your loving arms. Keep your loving arms around me. Call me, call me, call me, call me.
Thank you so much for that beautiful gift of song and message. Death is so often a challenging fact for us to get our heads around. And the truth of that is certainly amplified when the loss is of someone so young and on terms like these. It's hard to make sense of. And anger arises, there's confusion, feelings of unfairness. Why Will? Why now? And I have no doubt that so many of us are sitting here asking these questions. And the truth is, life is a mystery and we don't have the answers. It's our work to live in the mystery. And while his body has left this earth, many cultures and religions believe that the spirit remains. And I know without a doubt that so many of you has felt his spirit in these past days And I know that you'll continue to for years and years to come. Will's light was bright. His light still is bright. He can be likened to a supernova, one of those really bright stars in the night sky that are brighter than the others, and they burn brighter, but they go out faster. But the truth is, when we see the stars in the night sky, the light takes a long time to travel to us. And so many of the stars that we're seeing have already died, but their light continues. And I have no doubt that Will's bright light will continue. Pretty recently, he told his brother that love is his religion. He lived his life according to that religion. In many ways, he's a teacher to all of us. And if he were here in body, if he was able to ask us clearly something that we can do, it would likely be to love each other, to be good to each other in his absence. He might ask us to celebrate his life and to remember him brightly and with love. And I know that we're here doing that today. Many of us have been doing that the past week. But on behalf of Will's parents and his family, I'm going to ask each of you to continue doing that. 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now. Because what happens is, as a community heals from loss, oftentimes people become afraid of mentioning the one that's lost. You might be thinking of Will and happen to run into Claire or Al at the store, and you might hesitate or be afraid to mention Will's name because they seem to be doing good, and you don't want to throw them back into the depths of sorrow. But what I know about grief and what I have learned, what all the studies and all of the people say, is that the most precious thing you can do is to keep saying his name, to keep sharing his stories, to keep him alive in this way, to keep talking about his love and light, and to let his light continue to burn brightly. This is one way to keep him alive in our memories. So let's take a moment to remember Will together. If you're able to stand, please do so. And we'll take a moment in silence. This moment is your opportunity to say anything in your heart that's been left unsaid. To speak to Will in the quietness. To let him know of your love. To say goodbye to him in physical form. Whatever you need to say. Whether you judge it good or bad, it doesn't matter. Now is the opportunity to let your heart speak to Will. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, Chris Anderson, a friend of the Silva family, will share a story with us. Chris?
That's a really tough act to follow. I coached Willy when he was probably 11 or 12 years old in basketball. And when you coach kids, right, or if you teach kids, you hope that you give them something, that they'll remember you by, and maybe they'll come to your funeral, but you never expect to be going to one of their funerals. But the reason I told Claire and Al this story when I went over there the other day. My favorite story about Willy was that year of coaching on basketball, because the entire basketball season he never said a word. And to hear about what Willy's done since then, he makes music, he's got videos and everything. It's perfect. This story is perfect because I think we saw the blossoming of all of So at the end of the season, I always took the kids to Bon Appetit for a pizza party. So at the last game, we got in my pickup truck. I think my son Michael was in the passenger seat. I think Roger Watchus was in the right side. Willy was right in the middle in the back seat. And I think CJ was to his left. So in the rear view mirror, all I could see was Willy. Now mind you, I hadn't heard a word out of him the whole year. We get in the truck and we don't leave 100 feet out of the thing and Willy starts telling jokes. And he literally has the entire truck rolling. And so Michael, CJ, and Roger are all older than Willy. And they're like, where did this kid come from? I remember Roger specifically saying, where did this kid come from? And we drove from the school all the way to my house and all the way back to Bon Appetit, and he had us cracking up. And so and all I saw was the rearview mirror of him just talking. And that's the story. That's what I'm going to always remember. That's the Willy I'm going to remember. And I have to say this too, because I loved finding out that Will was a musician. And I loved finding out that he wrote his own songs and things, because I do that too. And the thing I think is so cool about that, right, is because those songs of Will's will last forever, right? And that's a great way to remember him, you know, and a great way to look back at his spirit and what he was all about, because it's in those things that people really express themselves. And that's a good thing. That's a really good thing.
Thank you so much, Chris. Nate Bruce, friend of Will's, is going to share.
How are we doing? Not good. My name is Nate, for those of you who don't know me. And I had the great pleasure of being one of Will's best friends since first grade. As nervous as I am to stand up here and speak, I know Will believed in me like no other friend. Has or did. And he's here giving me the strength to speak some words to you right now and share what type of great person he was. Will, no matter what was going on in our friend group, we were pretty crazy. He always knew how to turn things positive, whether we were upset, angry at each other. He always reminded me, and everyone is good. That's just the type of person he was. He was never angry at life or at the world. And when life knocked him down, whether it was having to get another car or another car, he always knew how to turn it around and be positive. He knew and always said one day he's going to be famous. And he was going to take care of us. And anyone around him would have nothing to worry about. And I spent so much time, hours freestyling and doing music with him. And I believe absolutely that kid would have made it. And he wouldn't have stopped until he did. He was so talented and blessed and passionate. All those car rides up to Will Hardy's colleges, all those times at Musqueamish swimming at the beach during the summer, all those nights going out in the town, every day was his. And he lived it to the fullest. Now the times when all of our friends hang out together, we're just not going to be the same. We're always going to remember you, your bright smile, your loud laugh. I'm always going to miss you so much. You're a spectacular best friend. You're a great person. And I love you. And I miss you so much. Rest in peace, buddy.
Thank you so much, Nate. Nate Bossy.
Willy. That's what we're here for. Let me tell you about Willy. From home to school, from school to practice, and then from practice to home, me and Will spend day and night together. Whether it's at my house or my second family's, out in Claire, I spend plenty of time with Yannick and Milton as well. I saw and I was there for Will through his eyes and lowest time in his life. And all of his really good friends were. And I've known Will from kindergarten until now. we really started being friends in the 5th grade. We both couldn't stop talking in the speakers class. They actually put us in Siberia, that's what she called it. Kids that couldn't stop talking. So we both were put in Siberia. I'm sure that didn't really fix too much, but we started hanging out quite a bit after that, so I'm kind of thankful for it. Well, got me to sports like football and lacrosse. I started lacrosse with Willy in the 5th grade after he already did 1 year. I remember he came up to me and said, Nate, we're kind of fat. We need to do something. Lacrosse with him. One of my best memories I have with Will was when we were 13 and him and I were watching one of my brother's lacrosse games at St. Bernard's. And instead of watching, we were just kicking around, hanging out. And we found one of the football tires, one of the tires used for football, for the tire flipping. And we rolled all the way to the top of the hill behind St. Bernard's. And I remember looking at him, and I said, "Who's going first, you or me?" And he said, "You want to go?" And I said, "You want to go?" And he said, "Nah, man, you can go first." And I said, "All right." So of course I went first, which was a horrible decision. But from Willy would have said, our trajectory was off. As soon as we got to the top of the hill, we weren't noticing where I was going to go at the bottom. I got in a tire. I went all the way down the hill. I ended up actually hitting a brick wall at the bottom with all the equipment and everything. I couldn't move my legs for like 20 minutes. And I remember Will came down with a video and everything in hand, taking the video. And I told him to take a video, when we started. But as soon as he came down, I was like, "Will, delete that shit." So I remember he deleted it for me. He helped me out of the tire. And brought me back to my mom, who brought me back to the car and everything. That was a really, really good memory I had with Will. And I'm glad he didn't jump on the tire. But Will was the most genuine friend someone could ask for. He wouldn't, or as I say, couldn't lie to you, no matter what. If he needed to tell you something, or he felt that he wasn't being honest about something, he'd sit down and he'd talk to you, no matter what. Even when you feel, that kind of awkward feeling, you want to talk to somebody about, knowing somebody for so long, you feel you can talk to him. Sometimes you can't. He'd sit down with you every time, and he wouldn't let that feeling get to you. And you just wouldn't let something, eat away at him or you, as friends, which is everything someone could ask for a friend. Honesty comes first in your relationship. But Will had it all figured out. He chose happiness before everything. Money was not a concern. All Will needed was his family, his friends, and his press-on sandwich. He already held all the joy and love you could possibly find in someone, and he knew that. That's why he had it all figured out. Willy was one of my best friends I ever had, and he showed me many important lessons in life. I wouldn't be half the man that I am today without Will. Most of what I did in life involved Will. I played lacrosse football with him. Only 2 sports played in high school. He got me to start. But he even pushed me to go to Ledyard High School with him. And that's where I met some of the greatest people in my life. If it wasn't for Willy, I wouldn't have listened to half the music I listen to today. He introduced me to a lot of rap and hip-hop, and some of the first artists being Kid Cudi, NWA, Biggie Smalls, and Tupac. I remember sitting in the back seat of his father's truck, Big Al, memorizing the words straight out of Compton. So we could rap back and forth together with each other. And we memorized the whole thing. I can still remember the words to this day. And if he were here, I could spit the whole thing with him. Me and him, just like the old days. Things just won't be the same without you here, my friend. You were the icing on the cake, the apple on the pie, man. You were the life of the party, and me and your other 7 lifetime friends will be waiting to see you again. I'm not so afraid of heaven now. I'm my best friend's waiting for me.
Thank you so much, Nate. Carter Ward.
Y'all, I need a second to collect myself. My name's Carter. I travel on the water. Will was one of my first and best friends, and it was really hard to write a eulogy for him. So we didn't take long time. So I decided to write him a letter instead. and miss you so much. But beyond all of this pain and grief, I'm extremely grateful for you. I'm grateful that I got to meet you when we were so young, to share so many memories, to watch you grow into the beautiful person you always were, and selfishly, to learn so much from you. One sentence down. See, that's the thing I'm starting to learn about old friends. They form the foundation of who we are. And in meeting you so young, I hit the goddamn lottery. Without you, Will, I would not be the person I am today. Without you, who knows what kind of music I'd be listening to. I'd be driving around in a beat-up S10 listening to, Keith Urban instead of Kid Cudi. No offense to anyone who got here that way today. Will, you are the reason I was first introduced to so many things I love. Good music, writing, comedy, all of our friends we grew up with together, and your family. You were my bridge to a life that I now love. And while I can't speak for anyone else here, I know I am not the only one. And Will, you introduced me to some of the most important lessons that I'm still learning. First and foremost, to slow down. It's funny, because when we were kids, I thought it was the opposite way around, that you needed to speed up. I got tired waiting. When we were sitting at the kitchen table, where my plate was clean, my left leg bouncing up and down, and you hadn't even finished half your meal, a quarter of which you were wearing like a mask. I sat there thinking there was no possible way your food could still be warm, while my mom repeated for the upteenth time, Will, you're my favorite person to cook for. And how could you not be? There's no one else that knows how to relish a meal as you did. But still, when we were kids, I thought you were just a slow eater. It didn't occur to me that it wasn't just the meal you were relishing. It was the moment. You were sitting there, eating the best now room temperature salmon a guy could ask for, surrounded by people who loved you like you were family. There was no need to rush, ever, and you knew that. But what I'm most grateful for, Will, is that without you, I might not like the person I am today. As you know, I was insecure and angry as a little kid, carrying around a lot of darkness. You also carried a lot of darkness, but it had nothing to do with anger. Even when you were little, you saw all the pain and negativity that was in this world. And your heart was so big, you tried to hold all of it so no one else had to. To use your own words written in your self-portrait poem in 2010, my heart holds darkness that is black as night. I live in light and eat fun. See, even with all that darkness, that you chose to live in light, you can consume joy and be happy. And I know you've been trying to get through to me about this my whole life. To get me to stop being so defensive, so tense. You are the person who first taught me to put my arms down and celebrate the light I had instead of dwelling in the darkness. This lesson is the reason I can stand before you today, through all these tears, and tell you I am happy. I promise, Willy, as long as I live, I will do my best to carry your words to me in earnest. Those words being, I guess the big thing through all of this is just enjoy life and appreciate everyone you got. I don't know how long I'll be alive, but I want to know I was happy for however long I am alive. Thank you.
On behalf of everyone who's here, I would like to thank Carter and Nate for your courage in coming up and speaking today and sharing about your friendship and helping us all to see deeper into Will and his love. Thank you. At this time, Willy's older brother, Milton, is going to share with us.
That was freaking beautiful. I'm not a writer like Carter. I'm just a mediocre accountant. So there's no way to put into words the pain we feel in our hearts. The death of a loved one is never an easy situation to deal with, but circumstances like this make it a harder reality to accept. Willy was someone who made the most out of every moment. His number one goal for every day was to enjoy the day. Whether that meant a fifth press-on sandwich of the week or just going on a hike, he always made an effort to have the best day that he could. He was good at doing the little things. He was so good at doing the little things right that it translated to him being better at some of the biggest things than anyone I've ever met. I looked up to him in so many ways, besides just the fact that I'm like 5'2" and he was 9 feet tall. He led by example without even trying to. He taught us to be a little nicer, love a little harder, spend a little more time by the water. Yeah, that's right, Willy. You weren't the only one in the family with bars. As impossible as today feels, I'm more grateful than anything else. It's hard, but it's a good thing that it's hard. Missing someone means they were important to you, and it's good to be sad. It's good to cry and be angry and all the other crazy emotions that come with this, but I'm so grateful it is so hard because he was so good. I'm grateful for all the crazy memories we shared, dodging dirty diapers, never winning a spike ball, and roasting each other on a daily basis. I love you, little big brother, and I'm so incredibly proud of the human you were.
Thank you, Nancy. Will's mom, Claire, is going to share with us now, extending her mother's love endlessly.
See how I do. Our family would like to thank everyone for the outpouring of kindness, support, and love that you have all extended to us. Special thank you to Michelle and her staff. Thank you, Lucia. We are here to celebrate William Santos Silva, who his friends call Will, our family calls Willy. The truth is, Willy's soul orchestrated the perfect departure from this life, while his brain thought he was going to California. Willy had cleaned his room, he hung up all of his artwork, he had placed a magnet on the refrigerator with the message, "Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end." He visited with his friends and said goodbye. He told us when we miss him, we can focus on our dog Alex. He hugged his family, spent time with us, told us he loved us. On December 5th, he fell asleep driving home, died on impact. He did not suffer. In his short life, we were able to witness Willy go through some tough years and then become the happiest person possible. He went through some painful life lessons, but also experienced complete fun and happiness. Willy appreciated his time and made the most of his life. He is at peace. But now we are stuck trying to figure out how to live our lives without him. It is okay to cry with us. It is okay to laugh with us. Please continue to visit. Please continue to talk about Willy.
Losing a child is unspeakable pain. It's a nightmare that you keep hoping to wake up from. Our family understands we will forever have a void that can never be filled, and we know all of you feel the same way.
To help explain where this amazing human being came from, I wanted to share some early life and later life stories. Willy was born about 3 weeks late, which explains his horrible sense of timing. He was always late for everything, and that is an annoying quality he gets from me. After 23 hours of being induced, I finally demanded a C-section. In surgery, the doctor understood why Willy was not coming out. He was 9 pounds and 10 ounces. His head was turned at an angle, so he would have never physically come out. His head turned at a different angle is symbolic. Willy looked at life from a different perspective than most people. As a baby, Willy expected everyone to give him a foot massage. He used to hold up his foot and even expect strangers to rub his feet. By 2 years old, we were getting concerned because he barely spoke. He communicated by grunting and pointing. Until one day I brought the kids to McDonald's for hot fudge sundaes. Willy climbed up on the chair, spread his arms out, and yelled, "Hallelujah!" That was Willy. Willy had to have his adenoids and tonsils removed because he routinely stopped breathing. One of the days after the surgery, I was driving, and he said, "Mom, do you smell that?" His whole world opened up, and smell and taste became extremely important to him. He eventually became an amazing cook and baker and learned how to make the best pumpkin pies from my mom. His life memories were built around the meal he ate at that time, and he could remember special meals with great details. When he was 4, I remember a day when we went to the DMV. A man was furious with the woman who was working behind the counter. Willy turned to me, looked up, and said, "Mom, I know what it feels like to be a kid and be angry, but what does it feel like to be an adult and be angry?" From when he was little, Willy was a very deep thinker. As a kid, Willy almost drowned. You would think that experience would have scarred him permanently with fear. But instead, Willy became obsessed with water. Lakes, ocean, whenever he could, he was swimming. And I think the ocean gave him the peace of mind. When he was a little older, Willy watched the movie Click, where Adam Sandler has a remote control and can control the world. The main character accidentally fast forwards through most of his life and then realizes how much time he has lost with his family. Willy cried so hard we could not console him. He took that movie personally and intimately understood the importance of time with people you love. As Willy was able to write sentences, he suddenly found the power in words. If you pissed him off in any way, he would look at you, size you up, and quietly walk away. He would then return with a sealed envelope with a letter inside. At that point, you had been served a Willy letter. You never wanted to receive a Willy letter because the letter presented all the reasons why you were wrong, and usually he was right. We thought Willy was going to be a lawyer as a kid, but he referred to himself as Judge Willy. In high school one day, Willy surprised us by saying, "I think I want to be a rapper." Our response was, "Willy, you don't even speak. How are you going to be a rapper?" To see the shy kid go out on stage and do what he loved, singing, rapping, performing, it was magical and he was amazing. He loved having time with family and friends. He loved listening to and telling stories while enjoying a delicious meal and a dessert. If Willy took time to listen to you, laugh with you, give you some food or a smoothie, or give you a quarter piece of his cookie from Press On, he was showing you how much he loved you. Willy was a giver. He was an organ donor, and he will be giving a Christmas miracle to many families this year. I know my husband and I did a great job raising Willy. He also has the most amazing brothers, sister-in-law, brother's girlfriend, grandparents, and other family and friends. In his short life, Willy was lucky to find the most amazing group of friends and families in North Stonington that all stuck together from elementary school to adulthood. I'm forever grateful to all of Willy's friends and their parents that loved and supported him. These incredible young adults raised over $17,000 to help our family. We want Willy's name to last forever, and we'll be moving the funds to the William Silva Fund for the Arts through the Community Foundation of Eastern Connecticut. The fund will be used to produce grants for organizations, schools, and other programs that help young people access lessons, instruction, and experiential learning within the visual and performing arts, with a preference for music, singing, photography, painting, drawing, and acting. So where do we go from here? I think it is important to live life the Willy way. Take the time to really enjoy life. Eat that dessert. Enjoy that special meal. Go for that swim or hike in the woods. And definitely take a trip and travel to new places. If there is someone you haven't made time for, make time for them. If you have someone you have not made peace with, make peace with them. Willy was all about love. He accepted everyone exactly as they are. Honor his memory by showing love to the people who mean the most to you, and extend yourself to anyone who needs a friend. Thank you for coming to honor and celebrate Willy. We love you all.
Thank you so much, Claire. I want to express gratitude to everyone who's spoken this afternoon and to Willy for a life that was so well lived and such an example to each of us. The Silva family wants to steep in the memories and stories of Will. They don't want this part to end. They're requesting that each of you take a moment over the next few days to handwrite a story or a memory of Will. Their address is right here at the entry to this room. You can take a picture of that on your way out, and in the next few days, put something together. Even if you've already emailed them, even if you've done something on social media, this way they can compile something and hold it in their hands and read it and be close to it. I'm going to close with an excerpt from a Khalil Gibran poem. He says, "You would know the secret of death, but how shall you find it unless you seek it in the heart of life? If you would indeed behold the spirit of death, open your heart wide unto the body of life. For life and death are one, even as the river and the sea are one. For what is it to die but to stand naked in the wind and melt into the sun? And what is it to cease breathing but to free the breath from its restless tides? Only when you drink from the river of silence shall you indeed sing. And when you have reached the mountaintop, then you shall begin to climb. And when the earth shall claim your limbs, then you shall truly dance." May Will continue to sing and climb and dance. Let's close in prayer together. God, please bless the soul of our beloved William. Enfold him in peace. Embrace him in light, in wholeness and perfection. Please give us strength and comfort in the weeks and months ahead. Renew our reverence for the gift of life. May we see clearly in the truth that love is eternal and joins us forever beyond time and space and physical form and even beyond death. With love in our hearts we pray and say amen.
As we come to the conclusion of our time here today, I would like to take a moment and thank Reverend Rocha for leading us in truly a celebration of Will's life, to Prism of Praise, and for their angelic voices and lifting up his soul, to his dear friends and family for the words that have been shared here today, and of course to all of you, his friends, family, everybody that's here today. Thank you so much for coming. I definitely appreciate it. We want to make sure everybody has had the opportunity to either come and say goodbye to Will and the family. So for folks that are in the hallway and in our blue room, we'll have a gentleman help guide you to come in, pay your final respects, and then from the back of the chapel forward, that way everybody can say goodbye. Please travel safely and keep Will in your hearts, minds, thoughts, prayers in the days to come. And thank you.
Just say by the or what? Take it easy.
Happy birthday. He said bye. He said I right. Take care.
That's how I remember it.
Yeah, no.
It was like really doing really well for that.
I don't know if that door's open. There's some pictures on the video though.
But this is how I remember him, because he used to be here all the time. See this picture? This is how I remember him at prison.
Oh, totally.
Like when he came to prison, he was like this.
Yeah.
He rarely came over here. But this, I remember that.
Oh, that's so funny.
That is the coolest thing. Yeah. He would just stare at you like that.
That is awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's just good to see you guys. I'm sorry.
I know. Miss you. Love you.
I get to see you every time I cut you off on some street. It takes forever to get out of her parking lot.
People like her.
I let her go every time I see her.
Yeah, oh, he's Hearty. I'm very
And here we go, all the way till
When did you get Willy like this? I remember hearing about
Come hang out. I should do
Looks like he was trying to pull so sorry.
Honestly, I have Bring your friends tight, bro. Bring your friends tight, bro. Stay safe. Stay safe. It's good, bro. How you doing, bro? I never wanted to see it. I prefer it, bro. So on wheels.
That's EJ. Yo, what the hell? I didn't even know I was saying hi to EJ, I didn't even know that was you, kid. I didn't even know it was you, kid.
Last time I saw you at the casino, you called me Kevin or something.
No, I thought you were Gavin.
I know it's him because one of the first
Gavin. Yeah, you look like Gavin. With the mask on, he looks like Gavin. A little dark. I have not seen this kid.
Sorry, I see you got dunked on it.
Well, what would have been? Oh, right. Oh.
Gotta bring up something bad.
Still haunts my head. That boy yams on my head. I haven't seen Sam kick
Good times.
Good times.
Good times.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't know.
No, it was Barbara Stan.
I wish I was
Stanley. Stanley and Xavier going this flats, right?
Yeah. Okay, whose fault is that?
Mr. Pepper out. Come on now.
Thomas, remember when I escaped from the school and no one brought it back to school after I took it? Ended up getting arrested.
You were like, dude, I need one. I was like, this is. I know. You're like, dude, show us when you're back. You're like, I feel just to this day, I feel responsible.
You stole it. I took it home.
You're like, so you sure? That's what it is. I was like, bro, yeah, you're good. They don't take it.
Set my shit up. You know, silent kill the rest of the day.
The next day, she's like,
Oh my God.
So then I felt so bad about it, so I went home. I gave it to Will because, you know, I needed skill this time, and I felt so bad about singing it. And I was like, oh, I'm going to give it to Will, you know, maybe it's not in my hands that way. So I gave it to Will. Will comes back, like 2 weeks later, for his, like, midterm week, he comes back to, he was waiting to or something from Lawrence or something. Brings it to school all day long. Literally midterm. Midterm till 11, and he had to smoke. Will had to smoke. So then he got called to scale.
I still, to this day, I feel guilty because that traces back. It's my fault.
One of our best stories, dude.
And he didn't say.
No. That was, he could have easily got out of that just by being like, oh, it was actually his. He was with the band. Yeah, going back to Wylli. It's my fault.
The scale. Yeah. I remember me and Kevin were at Wylli. Yeah, we had to go to lecture together for sure. Just coming back, we're like, dude, what the hell did you do? And he goes, Nate Bossy got me kicked out of lecture. That's what he said to me and Kevin. That's what he said to me and Kevin when we came back. He was like, yeah, Nate Bossy got me kicked out of lecture.
But I mean, I guess I did play one.
I was going to say, there was a couple reasons.
So I go back to school. What's it off the school property? Well,
like 3 weeks later, why?
Literally, Mr. Turner was his soccer coach. Mr. Turner looked at me and he's like, "Willie, you got to make my bag?" And he was like, "Nah." Mr. Turner pours up the scale. He's like, "You're not even in Dr. Holmes."
Oh, that was bad.
It was a good story.
He could have said, I know. Poor Dr. Wong. That's so funny.
Dr. Wong said for anybody. I mean, I didn't tell him it was you. He could have told me.
He could have snitched on anybody. Didn't say a word.
Yep.
Dr.
Me and him were
Wong.
actually just talking about that like a couple months ago.
Really?
You know, I'm talking about it.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
Yep.
I'll take the blame.
Doesn't fucking
I know.
rest me down, right?
I know. Yeah, the rest of didn't even get to
I know.
Didn't even get to use it.
I didn't think it was 20 back on it.
I don't know, got kicked out for no reason.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time, though. I'm really glad. The past year and a half, me and Willy boys, the boys been so close.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And, like, he was going to the bars all the time and stuff, and always stuff in my house. After.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I'd always see him all the time.
Yeah, just
all the
cherishing
time.
that.
You know, late nights as well. So.
Yeah.
I'll cherish that forever, for sure, man. You know.
That's one thing you'll always have. That memory will never go away.
Memories like that mean the most.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
You know, I just remember his fucking days of, you know, he was a good roaster too. You know, roaster.
Oh my.
I'm like, damn, bro, I don't know how to get you back in that shit.
You have
That
to
shit was
go.
good.
Yeah, go home, be in the shower, like festering.
I was never good at roasting. You know what I mean? It's like that quick.
Everybody was so much better, and I'd just be like, I'm not gonna even like say anything, so I'm like in
I'll
the
just sit
Discord.
here and take it.
No, I was like, I'll be Switzerland. I'll be the neutral party. I won't even.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to partake.
Y'all can roast each other.
We go out into the RV, and just sit there for like 4 hours, just roasting each other.
Baja Blast.
Baja Blast.
Long time ago, Baja
That's a long
Blast.
time ago, but you're Baja Blast.
Give me a Baja Blast.
I will never forget that.
The way he looked at you, just everybody in the
We
car
all-
collectively turned.
We all were like, excuse me.
Like, damn. Yeah, it was good days, man.
Oh my
Baja
god.
Blast.
Dude, when we kayaked across the lake, we took your boyfriend's boat at the time. The second
Oh, yeah, I remember
we
that.
stepped off the kayak, we dropped it and shattered it.
Yep, I remember that. Yep. Youngins hanging out right, yep, right in the dam there.
Yeah, there you go. It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
Retrospectively perfect.
Yeah.
We were like the first people we ever had at your house. We were going down upstairs. We were downstairs in the basement, like eating Oreos and shit.
We ate an entire sleeve of strawberry Oreos.
I know.
Ew.
Almost the whole thing just nominal. Who was like, these are so funny.
It's okay of a strawberry, but the whole
We had one while sober, and it was like, these aren't that good. That was the bang bang.
Yeah.
Came downstairs. These are the greatest things I've ever tasted in my life.
There wasn't enough for us.
I know.
There wasn't enough.
Oh my god.
Small, watch the Netflix.
Dude, that was so funny. Oh my god.
Yeah, Willy was in California one time.
Yeah, and
He had this crazy idea, like, dude, he's gonna go to California. You know, he had $5 grand, he's gonna go to California. And I just remember, like, 3-4 days before, I was like, really, like, you sure you want to do this? Dude?
Yeah.
And he was going for it, dude.
Yeah.
Going straight for it. I knew when he would have told him he was going for it.
Love the dedication. Damn sure was gonna make it.
The growth.
Yeah.
Like listening to Trey over again.
Yeah, Trey, it's one of his first songs with my buddy Jared. All of his songs, man.
Yeah.
So we actually have a music video we were just shooting.
Really?
We didn't even. He was supposed to take the second half and you know, do what he wanted to do to it, and then we were supposed to put it all together. But Sean has a bunch of footage from his music video we were just making.
That's good.
It's gonna come out pretty sweet. If we end up finishing it, it'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be good.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
He's like driving, like, I got that old 1989 Civic, and he's like driving around Norwich.
Oh, that's great.
That's pretty cool. Sorry, we did.
That's great, man. I'm sorry.
That's right, we have to number these for player. Put it on there.
But yeah, I'll miss him forever.
Absolutely, man. Great to see you. Hope to see you again soon.
Gotta sit down and have a beer or something, go to the bar.
Oh, ASAP. ASAP.
Been waiting for long. How'd you guys?
Good to see you.
You as well.
Have a great night. I'll never forget that moment.
Great night. Thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Clark, for coming. Of course, we good times. Thank you.
Definitely. Be seeing you very
Appreciate
soon.
you guys. Of course, bro. Have a good one.
Have a good night.
Keep your friends close. Yeah, you too. Thank you guys for coming, guys.
Job one done. Do you want me to do anything? Do you want to help with whatever you down anything and stuff with the cars? Yeah. So I think there's a couch and there's a box. Place these in and a sheet to like kind
In
of
in that room?
Yes. Thank you. Okay, yeah, if you want to help with
Let me try to find it.
Speech.
I'm trying to find the tote. Did you say where it was?
I think it's in the family room.
All right, let me see.
I think it was going in our pocket. The signs. Okay. In all the rooms. Okay. Artwork is all stacked. Okay. Okay. Right, yeah, I think it's going to keep it at some point, and then just hand them all the artwork. So I think we're in the, ask one of the women for a sheet, and then they're going to wrap them up so that they don't scratch each other in transit.
Take that home or you try to see?
Yeah, we can ask if they would, because this worked out perfectly, so it's like perfect spot and perfect. They might want to, yeah, it seems perfect right there. Yeah. Do you want to ask Michelle, the last one that spoke? So I guess we have to confirm. So the artwork is already. Except for I know. So I'm going to tell her put the course card. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Great. Yes, that works. So now we got to figure
Who's leaving right now?
Me neither. Oh, what else? You didn't see. There you go.
I mean, it's a gorgeous easel. I'm just trying to think, would there be any other use that someone could have for it, or? Oh, okay. So you're gonna be able to. Unfortunately, we have funeral services in this room tomorrow. So what we'll do is we'll just have to put it in a side area, and then we'll have to arrange a time on Monday. Oh, so that you can pick it up at. Let's look and see what might be okay. Just depending, because we do have a funeral tomorrow, so. That's what I'm just thinking. At least it's already covered.
Sure, that would be such a good time.
No, I just going to take it apart.
Yeah. The only thing is, I mean, it's gorgeous and everything, but it would be easy enough.
And if I can drop those part off, come on, just take it and maybe wash it. And then you spread the love, you know, that was well, spread the love.
Take one out of his book.
Yes. Well, I fly out the 20th.
So you still get
I'm here for tomorrow. Fly out Monday. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's going to be some short.
Yeah.
Or someone else has to do it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I tell you, the second day is kind of.
Do you need more than just Michael, or do you think you guys should be okay? Is that heavy?
No, I'm sure it's not that heavy.
Okay. Perfect. Oh, there you go. Oh, great.
and I'm so comfortable in it.
It's funny, it's like,
I loved it.
I could never do that before, and I just shouldn't even really love it. Yes, yes.
Thank you. So we're going to head to California and we're going to see.
Yeah, I should get.
You can show us the name of the areas.
I should get phone numbers so you guys can.
Yes, yes. Do you have your number? Or you have them. You're young, you can type. 401. 377.
Here, type it into the phone.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I look forward to that. Whenever you two figure out, tell me. Push my schedule around.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We got to finish this trip.
Yeah.
A lot of people his spirit, like you know, was later. But he tripped us all that he was going to California.
I'm going to sing that who's ever.
I was already excited. I was going to sleep on his couch. You know, we thought he was going to.
It gives you a reason to visit out there.
Yeah, we thought he was going to meet his true love and never come home.
He was working on it. He was. I know he was.
That's what I had planned. You got to see that video of your face.
My face, my reaction.
That was great. I love it.
Aiden sent me one, and Will was saying something. And I was sitting on the couch, I'm like, and then Will just burst out in laughter.
This is the one that really sound asleep in the middle of the art class. And you guys are outside taking care of the sheep and the llamas and all that stuff. And you got to look at your face. Because your face is just
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Give it a little bit more ease.
And you're in the middle of class.
Yeah. I didn't know it was you. Yeah, he's hiding behind the mask.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's what I
God.
was thinking. So I'm talking to some of these boys.
Yeah, I had to come with
I didn't know it was
a really good service.
Didn't know it was.
I know him since he was young back then, man.
So you guys got straight back.
Yeah, I'm the oldest one, you know. I'm the oldest guy.
No,
I'm not
I'm 62. I've got it over on.
Yeah, but I use it the way you said. She said 62 years younger.
I am. That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, so
I'm plan for you guys.
that's what I'm saying. This is tomorrow, so I can drop off the stuff tonight. So you can have it in the house.
Yeah,
Well, I'll take care of it. Yeah,
And
we'll
then-
take care of it. No worries.
Right, that's what I'll be doing.
Yeah, head lab, I wanted to make sure that somebody got it, was sitting on a chair. So it's gone, I don't see it. So it's for Mike, so that's the.
Sure. Yes. So you want to be incredibly proud of your son.
No, I'm just, we don't have a large.
You guys are
Absolutely, thank you. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
So we're then going to have the friends
hard
from
part
over
to say
town
goodbye,
that
that's
can
it,
hang out
for
with all
sure.
of us tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Today
You're
is
not
the
gonna see him again alive.
Tomorrow day we have just us time. And then tomorrow night they can come over and we all have pizza. Good? And then that way I
I'm
can
sure he
eat
saved a
it
lot of lives, though.
because I made copies.
Yeah,
of
he
that.
did, yeah.
If I keep the text message to me.
That is yours. That is definitely yours. So you want to say like 6?
6.
6 o'clock or having
Yeah.
pizza?
I'll ask Nate if he's not working tomorrow, but we'll see. Either way, I'm sure we can make it work.
Okay.
What's got to work? Yeah. You got tomorrow we're meeting at the facilities at 6 to do like should we go the artwork and stuff.
Any
Let's go to
pizza?
the next hang out.
Your graduation.
Huh?
I'm just saying.
And the green tablecloth is yours? So, yeah. Oh, right. We're having that helpful?
It's like tape and glue. I'm assuming that's she
The scissors. All right, so I'll order this for you guys, yeah.
because they tend to be custom made.